Here comes the first dog. It's the Airedale Terrier.
The Australian Terrier.
So the Terrier Group is made up of dogs that were originally bred and used for hunting vermin.
The Bedlington Terrier.
The term terrier comes from the Latin terra, which means earth.
And there's a huge diversity for size, shape and coat. And here's one with a very special shape, the Bedlington.
Lamb-like. And the little border there.
And now the Bull Terrier.
One of the heavyweights of the group here, the Brindle White.
That tail lashing.
Bull Terrier.
So these are a hardy collection of dogs, bred to be brave and tough when they're pursuing fox, badger, rat, otter, both above and below ground.
One of the Scottish Terrier breeds, the Cairn here.
The Cesky Terrier.
And a lot of these breeds do originate, don't they, in the UK, Frank?
Yes, we were the terrier country who developed the hunting and going to ground. And here's another one with a distinctive top line, the Dandie Dinmont Terrier.
And that face.
Now here comes the smooth Fox Terrier.
First of the Fox Terriers.
They're always smart, on the tiptoe of expectation, these terriers.
Terrier.
And the wire variety.
The Glen Imaal Terrier.
One of the smaller breeds. This one's on the vulnerable breeds list, isn't it, Frank?
Yes, but very heavily made and a native of Ireland.
Now we see the Irish Terrier.
The daredevil dog.
That red coat gave them the nickname, didn't it?
Russell Terrier.
Oh, big cheer there. One of the newer breeds to be recognised.
The Kerry Blue Terrier.
Always full of running. It's called lightning on a lead.
The Lakeland Terrier.
We've got 27 dogs in this group, haven't we, Frank?
27 breeds, and over the last few days, about 2,300 terriers, and now we're down to the last 27.
Terrier.
Another big cheer there for the little Norfolk.
And here we see the Norwich Terrier.
Close relation, the Norwich.
This one's the prick-eared variety,
Russell
isn't it?
Terrier.
Set it apart.
And the Parson Russell, one of the Fox Terriers.
The Scottish Terrier.
So our judge just taking very first look at these dogs on the move before he sees them stood.
And his
Now
first
the
view of them
Sealyham
going
Terrier.
across him sees their profile and outline. The
The
Sealyham.
Skye Terrier.
Wonderful coat.
This will
Correct
get the prize
ears.
for the longest dog in the group.
Yes.
The soft-coated Wheaten Terrier.
Another Irish breed.
Big fan club here for that one as well, by the look of it.
Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
Biggest entry.
Big cheers for this Staffy.
Always popular.
Now here comes the Welsh Terrier.
Lovely little Welsh there. Really alert.
And finally, the West Highland White Terrier.
90 West Highland Whites here today, and this is our best of breed winner.
So that's the last of our
I
best
now
of
hand you over
breeds
to Jonathan
entering the
Dolphin
ring.
and Kim Stiletto-Beale for the Terrier Group commentary.
Thank you very much, Graham. So, welcome to this exciting Terrier Group on the final day of Crufts 2020, and to our judge, Tom Johnson. Whilst he takes a first look at the whole group, we're going to talk a little about the origins of the 27 dogs.
So our judge now just taking his first look at the dogs stacked, taking a look at the outlines, how well they match their breed standard. And as you said, Frank, really varied group here, isn't it?
Absolutely, he looks at the smooth-coated heavyweight bull terrier and the miniature, the rugged Cairn there, shown on a loose lead, then the very special trim of the Cesky Terrier and the outline of the Dandie. All of them have their own breed traits, and that's what the judge is doing. He's going to measure them against their breed standard to see which is closest to perfection.
And is it difficult to do that, Frank? Is it difficult to switch from one standard to the next in such a short space of time?
Well, a judge should have in his head the details of type for the breed.
Terriers were used to
Oh, this is the smartest
lovely,
paint.
isn't
Look
it?
at that trim on that.
Following the chase.
The more heavily built, low-to-ground dogs, such as
So many of
the
these breeds are hand stripped, aren't they, to keep the coat in condition.
Yes, yes. It's a real art to do it.
A time-consuming art to do.
And of course, that's why many of the terrier breeds have fallen out of popularity, because they take quite a lot of work in trimming. So that's why they've gone down, and many of them are vulnerable native breeds now. A great pity. Part of our social heritage.
Their true sensitivity, and they can make superb and extremely loyal companions.
So now Judge Tom Johnston begins with the Airedale Terrier for a closer examination.
And there is the distinctive outline of the Airedale, the king of the terriers. This was developed in Yorkshire, first shown at Ilkley Show in 1876 as a riverside terrier. They used to work on riverbanks to keep down the vermin, including otter. But they've been hugely versatile with the army, serving as messenger dogs and ambulance dogs in the World Wars.
Famous Keithley Crack won at the Kennel Club show in 1884, and 2 years on in 1886 the breed gained separate
Often called the king of the terriers, this one, a dog who's just 17 months old, this is only his third show, so real performance to get to here.
And he comes from a famous kennel in Cannock, this Sheridan kennel, who've had best in show at Crufts with another terrier breed, so they're very experienced terrier breeders.
Judge looking for the legs moving straight forward, the tail carried high, and that distinctive, harsh, dense, wiry coat. The Airedale Terrier there.
They were judged today by Frank Kane. Best of breed was this bitch, number 147.
Our next best of breed, the Australian Terrier, developed from native British Terriers which were taken to Australia by settlers in the early 19th century. The Scottish, Skye and Cairn are all believed to have played a part in its development, and it was used to keep down rodents and other vermin in new settlements. It should be sturdy, low set and longer than it is high, with that harsh coat and ruff around the neck.
Controller of vermin to work their farms and ranches.
And these are one of the longer of the terrier breeds. They've got some length of the back. This one, a red.
So you judged this one, didn't you, Frank? What makes it special?
Well, it's got the breed type in the length of the body, the fine, hard coat, this lovely wedge-shaped head, and sharp, pricked ears, full of terrier spirit.
The Australian Terrier there.
Turns his attention to the Bedlington Terrier. Judge today was Craig Richardson. Craig had 84 Bedlingtons and selected another male, 14820.
And the Bedlington Terrier developed in the Northumberland town of Bedlington, where it was very popular with the miners. It was a mining town, and they had the Bedlington for their hobbies, and they used to race them and also perhaps go poaching with them. They used to be called the Rothbury Terrier, and they have this distinctive outline with this arch over the loin. It's thought that the Whippet had some part in its heritage.
And hence they became known as the Rothbury or Northumberland Fox Terrier.
That distinctive long head and coat are often said to give it a lamb-like appearance. This one, another youngster, just 16 months old, here from Scotland today.
Now we see the special trim on the ears. There was a little tassel of hair at the end, and this was for protecting them against rats or other vermin when they were doing their job.
On the move, we're looking for a distinctive mincing action, which isn't used to describe many breeds, is it, Fran?
No, it should have a light lift to it, and they should retain the top line on the move.
The Bedlington Terrier there.
Now we turn our attention to the Border Terrier. They were judged today by Judge Simon Jackson, and he found his best of breed in this bitch.
The borders of Scotland and Northumberland gave the breed of Border Terrier its name in around 1880. It assisted on hunts by driving foxes from their hiding places. It's capable of following a horse and should combine activity and gameness. The head is otter-like with a broad skull and short muzzle.
But it existed in the borders around Westmoreland and Northumberland, very much in its present form.
The Border Terrier was very well established as a purebred dog long before it came to the show ring. And the first breed standards emphasised this and said it's essentially a working terrier, and so it has remained. Workmanlike, still capable of fulfilling its job.
It's interesting, isn't it, Frank? When they're judging Border Terriers, you should be able to hand span around the ribs, the chest, shouldn't you?
Yes, they shouldn't be too broad. The judge will span the ribs and lift them up to see that they are spannable. And a thick double coat and thick skin for protection.
The Border Terrier there.
Bull Terrier was first bred in Birmingham around 1850. It is one of the few breeds.
And there is the Brendon White Bull Terrier, and this breed derives from a crossing of the Bulldog with the Terrier and was bred originally as a fighting dog in the early 1800s. Birmingham breeder James Hinks decided to improve the breed and use white English Terrier blood to improve them, and a little bit of Dalmatian in, and here he came up with this dog which is a bit more athletic.
The first three clubs formed in 1887, and since the original white dog was bred, more colour.
An interesting point in the development of this breed is that they were all originally white coloured, but in the 20s many of the white variety were found to be deaf, so the coloured varieties were introduced.
This one, lots of substance, this broad chest, sturdy bone, and this egg-shaped head, one of these special breed features. They are wonderful character dogs.
Best of breed is this dog, 15322.
Here we have our best of breed miniature bull terrier. Small bull terriers were seen in the 19th century, but it wasn't recognised as a separate breed until around 1943. It's also descended from the bulldog crossed with the white English terrier, and it must have that distinctive head, but it also needs to combine substance and soundness of the bull terrier in a smaller frame. It should be strongly built and muscular.
Not exceed 14 inches.
And one of the great challenges for breeding a miniature breed is to get the same quality, the same outline in a smaller size.
The head is often described as egg-shaped, and it shouldn't have any hollows or indentation, should it, Frank?
Absolutely smooth in outline, slightly Roman nose at the end.
This one, 2 years old, our miniature bull terrier.
Tom turns his attention now to the Cairn Terrier, judged by Richard Rummans, from an entry of 97. This is a female.
And on the table now the Cairn Terrier, a native of Scotland, and it shares its ancestry with other Scottish terriers such as the Skye, the Scotty and the West Highland White. It was bred to keep down vermin. He was first established as a short-haired Skye, and until 1887, and then he got his own name, and he takes his name from working in the Rocky Mountains.
Launched under the name of short-haired Skye Terrier.
A cairn is a small rocky outcrop on the moors, and this is a breed that's remained remarkably unchanged ever since it was created, isn't it, Frank?
Absolutely workmanlike. They shouldn't be over-trimmed, they should look rugged, and the standard says they want a varminty expression. They should look like little rascals.
I didn't know what that means. I've got a new word there, thank you, Frank. The Cairn Terrier.
We now move to the distinctive Cesky Terrier. This is the 4th year at Crufts with CC status.
Now here we move to the distinctive Cesky Terrier. This, the national dog of the Czech Republic, was developed by geneticist Francis Horrick by crossing a Scottish and Sealyham Terrier. It's a relatively new breed, registered with the Kennel Club in 1990. It has a gentle manner, but it should still be capable of seeing off vermin. That slight rise to the loin is a distinctive feature of the breed.
To produce the Cesky, and as such is a relatively new breed of terrier.
This is a relatively modern breed, and it comes from the crossing of a Sealyham and a Scotty, and we see features of both in it. The long head of the Sealyham. However, if you want a terrier but don't want all the work, this is the one for you, because these don't get hand stripped, they get clipped, and we see this rather silky coat, short on top, with the silky furnishings.
It's really nice to see this one here. As I said, national dog of the Czech Republic. This one has come from the Czech Republic today.
Gaining popularity year by year.
The 3.5-year-old Cesky Terrier there.
And we see that, unlike many of the other terriers, this is allowed to carry its tail down, not over the back.
Judged today by Patricia Withers from an entry of 68. This is the male, 15468.
And this is one of my favourite terrier breeds, the Dandie Dinmont. It's named after a character in Sir Walter Scott's novel Guy Mannering, where a character in the novel, Dandie Dinmont, modelled on a local farmer at the time who kept terriers of this type. His dogs in the novel were called Mustard and Pepper, and this is how we get the two colours of the Dandie Dinmont. This one here, a mustard.
There is undoubtedly some connection between the Dandie and the...
They should have a weasel-like body with that curving top line and that really distinctive top knot and large expressive eyes. We can see them perfectly there.
A wonderful natured breed, irresistible in their expression. And again, another one with little protective tassels on the end of its ears. They should have a rise over the loin and a drop down to the tail, which is carried like a little scimitar. The other colour is pepper. They're sort of silver grey dog, yes.
That's the Dandie Dinmont.
The Dandie Dinmont Terrier there.
And the next dog we're going to see is the Smooth Fox Terrier, judged today by Paul Wilkinson. He had an entry of 60.
Here we have our best of breed Smooth Fox Terrier. From the earliest days of hunts, small terriers ran alongside the hounds or even carried on the saddles of riders to flush out foxes when they went to ground. The Smooth was the first variety to be officially recognised. It's believed to have Old English White Terrier, Bull Terrier and Beagle in its ancestry.
Approved in the following year in 1876. The breed club was
They have a classic outline of this short back, long neck and this long head, which should be strong with a powerful underjaw to equip it to do its job. This is I'm sad that these aren't more popular because they're a lovely natured dog. They perhaps don't like other dogs so much, but as a household companion, they are a fantastic breed and no work to doing the grooming.
This one, another 16-month-old over from Sweden. Do the terriers typically develop quite young, Frank?
Depends on the size of them. The longer-legged ones always take a bit longer to get finished. A really smart stride. And here is the Wire Fox Terrier, close relation. They share the same standard, and they were shown together until 1870. And then they started having their own classes from 1873. The coat differentiates the two. We see the wire coat on the muzzle and across the body and down the legs. It should be a crisp wire coat. We call them the furnishings.
Very soon predominated, and it was easier to spot the dog than the fox when out hunting.
This is an alert, quick mover, always on the tiptoe of expectation. It should have a skull and foreface of equal length, and those eyes should be dark and fiery.
And this one moving very well here.
Chest should be deep but not broad, and the back short, level and strong.
Both of the fox terriers were hugely popular between the First World War and the Second World War, but then they've fallen out of popularity and low in numbers now.
They're fearless but have delightful temperaments. The wire-haired fox.
This one, we call it hound marked, black, white and tan. Really smart, very eye-catching. They win a lot of terrier groups because of their style and character.
Judged by Alan Stevenson. He had an entry of 31.
A native Irish breed developed as a badger hunter in the Glen of County Wicklow, from which it takes its name. Here we have the Glen of Imaal Terrier. It should be low to the ground, fearless, tenacious and strong, and is thought to share ancestry with the soft-coated Wheaten, Kerry and Irish Terriers.
By a George Tuberville. It's a tough, sturdy and adaptable breed.
There's a lot of substance in the Glen of Imaal, in the bone and the body, and the front legs are slightly bowed, and it was said that the slightly bowed legs help them to drag out badgers from the lair. That might be a bit of romantic folklore, I don't know.
It should have a free action, covering the ground effortlessly, and it's another breed with a slight rise over the loin.
When digging.
This one, a Wheaten colour, am I right, Frank?
Wheaten and striding out nicely. When this rise, as you say, and the fall to the tail, typical breed feature in the top line of the dog.
2-year-old bitch there, the Glen of Imaal Terrier.
He was the judge of the Irish Terriers, and there were 50 here today. This is the male 15726.
And on the table, the Irish Terrier, the oldest of the 4 Irish Terrier breeds. Sometimes called the Irish Red Terrier. First shown in the 1870s, when they were shown in other colours. But then the matriarch of the breed, a red bitch called Poppy, produced a litter where they were only red ones, and that set the colour for the breed.
They excel at rabbiting and have real pluck and stamina, and are expert at badger, otter and fox facing.
That red colouring is believed to have given the breed its reputation as a daredevil. It's racier and more streamlined than many of the terriers and should have a wiry look.
Yes, they are the daredevil. You see, they're judged on the table. One of the few terrier breeds of this size that goes on the table. But they are full of spirit. They're not so keen on other dogs, but very loyal to their owners. And they've been used by the forces as messenger dogs.
Legs should be carried straight and parallel with the tail not over the back.
Successfully put to work as a messenger dog by both sides, the English and the Germans.
The red colouring there of the Irish Terrier.
And the dog we now see on the table is the Jack Russell Terrier. They were judged today by Zena Thorne-Andrews, and from 121 dogs...
Now there's a huge fan club in the arena tonight for this breed, the Jack Russell Terrier, only officially recognised as a breed in 2016. Although they were developed in Australia, they're descended from British and Irish Terriers taken by expats to keep down vermin. They should be a strong, active, working terrier of great character. Judges looking for a skull that's flat, tapering to a strong muzzle, and that expression should always be keen. We can really see that there.
The best puppy in breed took the first group placing for one of this breed and made puppy group 4.
Now, many of our viewers will be sitting at home with their little Jack Russell thinking, well, I'll have a go. Well, if you've got one that looks like this, get it to the show ring because it's a very smart one. This one, a wire-coated one. You see the crisp wire coat, a little bit of furnishing on its muzzle, and look at that temperament, the wagging tail. They're slightly longer than high, the tail set high and carries itself full of assertiveness.
Movement described it as unrestricted and free-striding, really covering the ground despite its size.
But again, it has to remain fit for function, and he's enjoying the show ring.
There we have the Jack Russell Terrier, winning hearts here in the main arena tonight.
Dogs having fun in the big ring. Tom now turns his attention to the Kerry Blue. Paul Wilkinson's had a busy day.
They're the beautiful colour of the Kerry Blue Terrier, officially named as the National Dog of Ireland. One of the most spirited of the terriers. I call it lightning in a bottle. Its name tells us a lot about it. It comes from County Kerry, and the coloration of the coat is blue. It's born black and then changes to shades of blue by the time it's 18 months of age.
Too big to go to ground in the mountains of Kerry. It's reported to be a good
This should be a compact, upstanding terrier showing gracefulness. That long, lean head is a distinctive feature of the breed. Soft and silky coat with some wave to it, and that characteristic beard which gives it the wonderful expression.
And there have been some Kerry Blues which have won Best in Show at Crufts.
Yes.
Torham Scarf Michael, famous dog, and then years before that, champion Callahan of Leander.
You're like an encyclopedia, Frank.
The Kerry Blue.
The Kerry Blue Terrier there.
And we now turn our attention to the Lakeland Terrier.
The many valleys of the Lake District developed their own working terriers, and from these, the Lakeland Terrier was established. It's believed to be a combination of the Black and Tan Terrier with the Welsh Border and Fox varieties. It ran after packs of hounds and would bolt or kill the fox or badger. Because of that, it should be smart, workmanlike, with a fearless demeanour. This a beautiful example.
The Lake District in England. Beginning of the 20th century.
The judge just looking at the coat texture and feeling it and feeling the furnishings. This looks a picture, this dog.
It's a 4-year-old dog from Malta.
And
world winner.
And it's bred by the Sheridan Kennels, who also have the Airedale Terrier in the group.
So double shot at the win there. Should move with its legs straight, parallel and forward, and really driving from behind with the tail carried upright.
And in the history of the breed, several of the different valleys in the Lake District had their own terrier, which they called the Lakeland. The people got together and defined the standard, and they came together as one breed, the Lakeland Terrier.
The dense, harsh coat there, the Lakeland Terrier.
Beverly O'Neill was judge of the Manchester Terrier.
Now he is a different sort of dog, a smooth-coated Manchester Terrier. This shows the diversity of the shapes of the breeds on the coat. Many of our terriers develop for rural life. The Manchester was developed for urban life. It was bred to keep down rats and vermin in the rapidly changing mill towns of the Industrial Revolution. Manchester and Lancashire and the mills there.
It became known as the English Gentleman's Terrier.
The colouring is of utmost importance. It should be jet black with rich mahogany tan, and the coat should be smooth and glossy, which really comes to life under the lights in the arena, doesn't it?
And they have a very distinctive outline. You see the rise over the loin and the fall to the tail. Their black and tan marking is very typical, and on the tan of the front legs we'll see a thumbprint, which is designed in the breed standard, and one of the breed unique points.
This one's 7 years old, our oldest finalist so far, the Manchester Terrier.
And now on the table we see the Norfolk Terrier. They were judged today by Di Jenkins, and she had an entry of 62. Coming through to the group this evening.
Here we have our best of breed Norfolk Terrier. Now until 1964, both the Norfolk and the Norwich, which we'll see in a moment, were shown as the Norwich. They're the smallest of the terriers, but with great substance and character. What differentiates the two type is the ear. So here we have the drop ear of the Norfolk, and the Norwich has a pricked ear. They're a small, low, keen dog, alert and fearless despite their size.
In the large grain stores of the fen areas.
They're one of the smaller terrier breeds, and they've got a lot of substance. Strong bone, cobby body, big ribs, and again that double coat.
True low and driving movement.
Norfolk Terrier 15974.
Here we have the Norfolk Terrier. This one a 3-year-old bitch.
Guy Jenkins was also the judge of the Norwich Terrier. There were 43 entered.
And here's the prick-eared cousin, the Norwich Terrier, on the table. They were bred and shown together until 1964, when the breeders got together, approached the Kennel Club for separation, and then now they've been separated and shown separately. The Norwich here hails from Cambridge, where young gentlemen students at Cambridge University were keen on hunting and wanted a small terrier to go to ground.
One of the things I love about the standard for these two is that it says that honourable scars from fair wear and tear are permissible, and I think that gives you a real insight into their character, doesn't it?
It also says spirited but not quarrelsome.
Yes.
They should get on well with others, yes.
The neck should flow cleanly into the shoulders, and it should have a deep, compact body. The hind legs following in the tracks of the front on the move. The little Norwich Terrier there.
Tom Johnson now turns his
Says you
attention
can
to Parson Russell
differentiate the
Terrier.
two by the ears.
105 of them here today for Judge Lynn Bull.
Here we have our best of breed in the Parson Russell Terriers. The breed's named after the Reverend John Russell, a hunting clergyman who established the breed from a dog called Trump, a white-bodily terrier, back in 1819. The dogs were bred to go to ground and flush out fox or badger, and it shares it's the ancestor of the newer Jack Russell, workmanlike, active and agile.
Rough or broken coated. Importantly, their coat is weather resistant, naturally harsh, flat, straight.
And this is a very smart dog, the original Parson Jack Russell Terrier. It's longer legged than the Jack Russell we've seen earlier, but again a strong head. It has Fox Terrier in its origins, and we see the similarities on the shortness of back, the length of leg, the strong muzzle which equipped it to do its job. This is in beautiful form, this one.
This one, 2-year-old bitch from Finland, and so alert. You see in the ring there as she's moving.
That's the Parson Russell Terrier, best of breed 16159.
That's really smart.
The Parson Russell Terrier there.
Waiting for Tom's eye. On the table now we see the Scottish Terrier. Margaret Hearn.
The Scottish Terrier, distinctive outline, solid body, good length of neck, and a lot of substance under that coat. It shares its ancestry with the other native Scottish Terrier breeds and was used again for vermin control, once known as the Aberdeen Terrier because it was very popular and developed in that area. It acquired its present name in 1879.
Standard was drawn up in 1880 and a club being formed later in 1882.
Scottish Terriers are usually black, as we're seeing here, but they can come in Wheaten or brindle. They have a close-lying double coat with that distinctive eyebrow and beard. Short, level back, should be held on the move.
They've got low slung, which means they're deep-bodied, and one of the challenges is to get this activity of movement in a low-to-ground dog and have freedom of action. This is going very well because Scotties can be extremely stubborn. When they want to put the feet in, they'll do so.
This is not the moment when you want them to bring out that trait. The Scottish Terrier there.
And on the table now we see the Sealyham Terrier. They were judged today by Denise Bettis. From an entry of 32,
now here we have a Welsh breed which takes its name from the village of its origin, the Sealyham Terrier. It was developed using predominantly white terriers such as the Jack Russell, West Highland White, and then included Bull Terrier and Dandie Dinmont blood. It was used to go to earth after otters, but also worked foxes, badgers and polecats. It's described as sturdy, game and workmanlike.
A village in Pembrokeshire, southwest Wales, called Wolf's Castle. Originally, the breed was used for pest control.
It's a wonderful breed. I owned them in the 1970s. I had 2 of them, and they're wonderful nature. And again, it's low in number now. It's a great shame. There's a bit of work attached to the trimming, but they're fantastic companions and lovely terriers. However, they take their name from Sealyham Manor near Haverfordwest in Wales, where Captain John Edwards developed the breed.
They should have a distinctive slight dome between the eyes, and their jaw is described as punishing. Brisk and vigorous on the move with plenty of drive.
They're a rectangular dog, but again low to ground, strong in the foreface. They need a strong underjaw. This one, badger markings, a little bit of brown over the eye and on the ears. We call that badger marking.
The Sealyham Terrier there.
Tom now turns his attention to the Skye Terrier, another breed judged by Martin Phillips.
Now, the longest dog in the group is the Skye Terrier, one of the original terriers from the Hebrides, and it's believed it is the ancestor of all these Scottish terrier breeds. The original Skye was smaller than what we have now, but it's been developed to be longer with a hard coat. Queen Victoria acquired a Skye in 1842, and that popularised them.
One thing's for certain, they're long and low to the ground with a glorious double.
The outer coat should be hard, straight and flat, with that distinctive veiling across the eyes and ears.
And of course, the breed became famous through Greyfriars Bobby, the Skye who stayed by the grave of his master, who died in Edinburgh. And he stayed there from 1858 to 1872. And made the breed legendary. When he died, they made a monument for the dog in Greyfriars churchyard.
Testament to the loyalty of these terriers there. It should have a large, powerful skull and be twice as long as it is high. Elegant and dignified is how the breed standard describes it.
They're extremely feisty terriers. They're full of terrier spirit. A lot of work there and a lot of bone and substance under the coat. Look at the lovely prick ears with the shadings. Very attractive. This one a big winner in her young career.
Colour and texture of coat, 2 of the breed's main characteristics, describe the soft-coated Wheaten Terrier. It's believed to be an ancestor of the Irish and Kerry Blue Terriers and was used for hunting badger and otter. It should be compact and upstanding, and the coat is described as a shade of ripening wheat.
Watching and guarding livestock, as well as controlling vermin of all sizes.
Very free-moving terrier. This coat should have a shiny, silky sheen to it. It shouldn't be woolly at all, and it shouldn't be overcoated.
He's the youngest champion in the history of the breed here. Just 3.5 years old now and from Nottinghamshire. The soft-coated Wheaten Terrier really striding out there.
Now we come to the Terrier Group's biggest entry. There were 341 Staffordshire Bull Terriers here.
The Staffordshire Bull Terrier, the biggest entry in the Terrier Group, 341 here today, and one of the most popular breeds in the Terrier Group, not only as a show dog, but also as a household companion. They were bred and developed in the Black Country near Dudley, and developed from crossing a bull breed with white terrier blood. They're the only breed which is shown in a collar and lead, ornamented with brass, including the Staffordshire knot we can see in the collar.
They were first known as Bulldog Terriers.
Staffy hugely popular here in the main arena tonight. These dogs should be muscular and balanced, giving the impression of great strength for their size. A broad skull with round eye, distinct feature, as is the wide front with well-sprung rib.
They're fantastic. They love children, devoted to their families, and they're fantastic natures. Beautiful breed.
Now our judge turns his attention to the Welsh
Once known as the Welsh Black and Tan Rough-Coated Terrier, the name of this breed was later compressed to the Welsh Terrier. It was used to control fox, otter and badger populations, and Irish Airedale and Lakeland Terriers were added to refine the breed. It should be smart, workmanlike, well-balanced and compact, with that hard, wiry coat.
Previously common, but now extinct, Old English broken or coarse-haired Black and Tan Terrier.
And this looks really smart. The wire coat, beautifully trimmed, the harsh texture down the legs and on the back coat. It looks rather like a wire fox terrier, but it is indeed a little bit heavier and thicker boned and a bit more sturdy than the wire.
The neck slightly arched and flowing gracefully into the shoulders. Legs should move straight forward and parallel, and the tail carried high. This is a dog that means business, isn't it?
And he had a great win today. The top winning Welsh was in the breed, and this one defeated it. So a great win for him at Crufts. It's always exciting to be around the terrier breeds. Spectacular dogs, full of spirit and crowded ringsides today.
This one, 2.5-year-old dog, has come from Scotland today.
The last of the 27 Super Terriers here is the West Highland White Terrier, judged by John Griffin.
90 West Highland White Terriers here today, and a beautiful sight they made in the ring. The Cairn Terrier plays an important part in its ancestry. Many breeders of Cairns used to cull white puppies. They thought they were undesirable. But one breeder, Colonel Malcolm, started to breed for the lighter colour, believing they could be more easily seen when working, and that's how we developed the breed. He called
the wonderful head is a real calling card of this breed. It should be slightly domed at the skull with heavy eyebrows and a dark eye. Ears sharply pointed and carried erect. This one just looking around there. A free, straight and easy mover with the tail carried jauntily.
And see this one a very big winning bitch, so representing the females here in the group. Most of them are dogs who've won through the breed. Here, this spirited, lovely little gilded lily, she's called.
The West Highland White Terrier there.
Completes the individual examination of the 27 terrier breeds here in the group ring of Crufts.
So there we have our terrier best of breeds, but who is our judge going to choose for his shortlist?
At the superb 27 terriers, and this is the last time you'll see them in their entirety. So well done to all of you on winning through your individual breeds.
Our judge just taking one final look round these best of breeds before selecting his shortlist.
Of course, in the coated breeds, you know, clever trimming can hide the faults, and you know, they can disguise the faults, and it's the judge's job to hands-on examination and then find out what they're like under the coat.
So where's he going? Striding purposefully over there.
First of the shortlisted dogs.
The Bedlington comes out.
Lovely Bedlington.
The Wire Fox Terrier.
Oh, you liked that one, Frank, didn't you?
And the Jack Russell. The Kerry Blue comes out. The Lakeland. The Parson Russell Terrier, lovely. And the Skye Terrier. And the Welsh Terrier. And there's our lineup.
Thank you very much to those other best of breed winners. Give them a round of applause as they leave the ring.
8 terriers in the lineup. So our 6th group winner for the show is going to come from these 8, down to the last 8 from over 2,000 terriers today.
And it's what, look, you can see their personalities there, can't you? They're all alert and ready to go.
Dogs are making it through. They're going to be moved one more time. This is the Bedlington
And
Terrier.
you see, the judge is sending them round the ring, looking at the outlines on the move, looking at their length of stride, and whether it's breed-typical movement. This is very typical for the Bedlington, but it wouldn't be typical for the other terriers. Their breed-specific movement.
That mincing movement. So here we have the Wire Fox Terrier. This one looking really smart today. Powering there from behind.
The Jack Russell Terrier.
And there's really striding out. And
listen to that crowd.
Eager to please, the little Jack Russell. Come from Spain, I think, this one to win.
Here we have the Kerry Blue Terrier. That distinctive colouring and texture of coat there.
And this is going very well. I saw a wonderful class today, and this one won it. Marvellous. And here's the smart Lakeland Terrier, put down to the minute.
Beautifully presented, that one. That coat takes some care, doesn't it?
And now we see the Parson Russell Terrier.
Yeah, here we have the Parson Russell Terrier. This 2.5-year-old dog.
I love this dog. He's so typical of the breed. This lovely length of neck, a strong foreface, good bone, and great carriage and top line. I like it a lot.
And the Skye Terrier.
And the final one in our shortlist, here we have the Skye Terrier. That distinctive coat.
And again, important that the long top line is held level on the move. A dip there would show a fault in the conformation underneath. And finally, now we see the Welsh Terrier, the dog that won the breed today. Sturdy, black and tan, crisp coat, and again a wonderful top line. Nice curve to the back leg to give it propulsive power on the move.
All of those terriers moving out beautifully there. So we already have 5 of our finalists for Best in Show. Who is going to be our 6th? Frank?
Well, I think the Parson Russells look beautiful tonight. The Kerry Blues look lovely.
The winner is that Kerry Blue. You just said that, Frank. Here we have the Kerry Blue Terrier.
That's Phil Davis from Wales with his Kerry Blue.
Indian Princess at Perrisbley.
Group 2 in the Terrier Group.
Group 2.
The Lakeland.
Lakeland Terrier.
Beautifully presented, that one. So alert, moving beautifully.
Group 3.
The Jack Russell, very popular. There's the one that the crowd pleaser.
That's the crowd winner,
yes.
isn't it? Yeah. So our last place, who's it going to go to?
And Group 4, it's the Bedlington.
The
Bedlington.
Young Bedlington from Scotland in Group 4. There's
a big round of applause to them as they leave.
And there are 4 winning terriers for Crufts 2020. But it's the Kerry Blue who'll stay on a little bit longer and compete for the supreme title. Best in Show.
Indian Princess at Perrisbley. Pixie, our 3.5-year-old winner of the Terrier Group.
So Lindsay Hoyle to present the award to the group winner this evening. And
Just waiting now for presentation to the winner. And then, of course, they've got to go back out and come back in and do it all again for Best in Show. We should be hearing from our winner in a moment. Fantastic achievement for them. This was the 3rd CC for this bitch, so became a champion today.
Given out, I think we're going to have a quick word by Marina Scott.
Thanks, Kim. Let's have a quick word with our Terrier Group winning handler here. I believe this is Pixie.
That's correct, yes, Pixie.
And you've gone very close to winning groups at Crufts before. Is this your first group?
We won it with a Fox Terrier in 2006, but this is the first time with a Kerry.
And just tell us a little bit about Pixie. How much effort goes into getting her looking into this pristine condition?
About 20 hours a week, trimming and grooming, and, exercising every day. This is a 3rd show, a 3rd CC, and a 3rd group.
So she's a champion today?
Champion made up today.
Well, to top it off with the Terrier Group, many congratulations. You've only got a few minutes left, really, to Best in Show. Any last kind of grooming tips?
We'll just settle her down and calm her down a little bit and calm myself down a little bit. We'll go again.
Excellent. We'll see you shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Terrier Group winner, Pixie.